She leaned in close the night before my son's wedding and whispered that after tomorrow, I would no longer be part of this family. I stood frozen, holding a scrapbook I had made with my own hands, and said nothing. By noon the next day, that wedding had completely collapsed, and the reason left the entire town in shock. My name is Eleanor Hastings. I raised my son Jason alone for 27 years, after his father walked out when he was 7. I worked double shifts, skipped every vacation, and built a good man out of nothing but stubborn love. When Jason brought home Brooke Sinclair 3 years ago, I tried to love her too. But behind her charm was a coldness that only I seemed to notice. She dismissed my stories, took over the wedding planning without me, and once even took a birthday cake I baked out of my hands, calling it quaint. The night before the wedding, I brought Brooke a gift, a scrapbook of Jason's entire life. She did not even look at it. Instead, she leaned in and told me plainly that I was extra baggage, that Jason was hers now, and that I should stay home the next day and spare everyone the drama. I drove home in silence, sat on my bed staring at that scrapbook, and made a decision. If I was not part of the family after tomorrow, then tomorrow I would not be there at all. The morning of the wedding, I did not move. My phone buzzed with worried texts, then panicked calls from Jason himself. My sister Patricia showed up at my door in her bridesmaid dress, begging me to explain myself. When I told her what Brooke had said, she went silent, stunned. By 11 o'clock, the church bells rang without me. I thought I'd lost my son forever. Then at noon, everything changed. My sister called back, her voice shaking, saying the wedding had fallen apart and Brooke had been exposed. 30 minutes before the ceremony, Jason's best man Kevin had shown him photos of Brooke in another man's arms, taken just 2 weeks earlier. The man was her boss, the one she always called her mentor. Jason's world crumbled in seconds. But it went deeper. Whispers spread through the church that Brooke's family was drowning in debt, and the marriage was never about love. The prenup she insisted on had a hidden clause funneling 75% of Jason's future income straight into her father's accounts. Jason confronted her in the bridal suite, phone in hand. She tried to deny it, then turned on me instead, calling me jealous and controlling. But Jason finally saw the truth. He told her that she had tried to erase his own mother from his life, and that all along, while accusing me of lying, she was the one who had lied to his face. He walked down the aisle alone and announced there would be no wedding. I thought that was the end, but Brooke's family fought back hard. They spread rumors that I had sabotaged the wedding out of jealousy. Brooke posted a photo online in her ruined dress, calling me a mother who could not let go. Then came a legal letter threatening to sue me for defamation and interference. My friend Nancy, a lawyer, told me it was pure intimidation and that Brooke's family had been quietly bankrupt for years. The marriage was meant to save them financially, nothing more. The harassment did not stop. Jason was threatened too, warned that unless he cleared Brooke's name, they would ruin me. That was when I decided to stop staying quiet. Nancy helped me gather bank records, the prenup, old emails, and proof of a decade of hidden bankruptcies. 2 weeks later, Brooke's family hosted a so-called reconciliation dinner. I walked in wearing the same pale blue dress I had bought for the wedding I never attended, and placed a thick folder on the table in front of them. I read the clause aloud in front of everyone, the one that would have handed most of my son's future income to her father. The table went silent. Brooke's mask finally shattered completely. Jason stood up, told her clearly that if she had ever truly loved him, she never would have tried to erase his mother, and walked out with my arm linked through his. She followed us to the parking lot, crying, but for the first time, he did not look back. Days later, I handed everything to a journalist who exposed financial schemes. The article went live, and the public turned overnight. Strangers who once called me a bitter mother now called Brooke exactly what she was. Jason threw himself into his new job and slowly found his real smile again, the one I remembered from before her. One evening, sitting together on my porch, he took my hand and told me he did not know how I stayed so strong. I told him I always believed he would see the truth eventually. His eyes filled with tears as he whispered that I had always been his family, no matter what anyone tried to tell him. And in that quiet moment, I finally understood that every sacrifice I had ever made for him had truly, completely been worth it.